श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ओम। तो हम लोग अपरोक्षानुभूति के वर्स नंबर 15 तक हम लोगों ने किया था। Up to verse number 15, he has talked about the body, he has talked about how what we are not. Verse number 16 say he starts off by declaring what we are. So he says, so in up to verse number 15, what did he say? Etayorvyad उपादानम् एकं सूक्ष्मं सदमव्ययं यथैव मृद्धघट्टादीनां विचार सोऽयमीदृशः. So think of the Ghatakasha, Chidakasha, and you are not the Ghata. You are the Akasha. हम घट नहीं है, right? घट तो ये मिट्टी का घड़ा है, and we are the Akasha inside the Ghat. So in verse number 16, he starts off. Continuing in the same thought, he says, Ahamekopi sukshmascha jnata sakshi sadavyayah tadaham natra sandeho vichara soyamidrishah. किस चीज का विचार करना चाहिए? What is that we need to think about? He says, I am one. Aham eka. Api सूक्ष्म ज्ञाता साक्षी सदव्ययः सदा अव्ययः. लेट अस लुक एट दीज वर्ड्स. इन शब्दों को गीता से इसको हम लोग कोरिलेट करते हैं, राइट? व्हाट डज ही से अबाउट अबाउट ब्रह्मन? गीता में क्या बोलते हैं? अनम्यूट करना पड़ेगा.
वो एक ही है, बाकी सब उससे परे हैं, वो उसकी पराशक्ति.
नहीं तो यदि वो उसकी शक्ति है तो फिर तो शक्ति अलग है और वो एक है, अलग है क्या?
नहीं, वो एक ही है.
तो फिर how do you explain you and I? How do you explain this computer?
परम ब्रह्म एक है और हम सब उसके अंश मात्र हैं.
तो यदि हम अंश है तो आर दिस सम टोटल ऑफ ऑल द अंश इज इक्वल टू ब्रह्मन?
नहीं, वो हमें है, हम उसमें नहीं है.
तो फिर हम उसके अंश कैसे हुए? हम यदि उनके अंश, आपका हाथ आपका अंश है, योर हैंड इज योर पार्ट.
हाँ.
तो हाथ आपके अंदर में है कि नहीं है?
है ना.
तो फिर आप अभी बोल रहे हैं कि हम उनका अंश है.
नहीं, हाँ, हम उसमें है, वो हम में नहीं है. वो मुझ में
हम
है, मैं
उन
उसमें नहीं हूँ. नहीं, मैं उसमें हूँ, वो मुझ में नहीं है. कुछ तो गड़बड़ हो.
भगवद गीता में चैप्टर 9 में वो बहुत क्लियर, 7 में और 9 में दोनों में वो बोलते हैं मैं उनमें हूँ, वो मुझ में नहीं है। ये बहुत क्लियर है। बस उससे एक, यदि वो भी बोलते समय ही इज ऑल्सो सेइंग मैं और वो, तो यानी दो है ना, तो एक कहां से हुआ? तो थिंक ऑफ दिस लाइक दिस।
चैतन्य रूप में एक हो, चेतना के रूप में एक है।
तो चेतना का रूप अलग है और शरीर का रूप अलग है, तो फिर भी दो अलग है। तो व्हाट वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड इज, ये जो डुअलिटी है वो एक्चुअली है नहीं, वो है ही नहीं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आप कभी समुद्र के पास में खड़े हो जाइए और उसमें लहर आती है, तो लहर क्या समुद्र का अंश है?
हाँ।
समुद्र के अंदर में लहर है क्या?
नहीं।
अब क्लियर हुआ। तो कितने समुद्र है वहां?
एक।
खत्म। तो हम बस उसके सरफेस के ऊपर लहर है, और लहर अपने आप को सोचने लगा है कि हम दो हैं, मगर वो है नहीं। अहम एकम अपि सूक्ष्मश्च। सूक्ष्म, सूक्ष्म क्या है? देखिए, पंच तत्व को देखते हैं। लेट अस लुक एट द फाइव तत्व्स। वाटर is a part of, can penetrate into earth. Water can penetrate into earth element, right? हम घर के पौधे के अंदर में मिट्टी का घड़ा लेते हैं, उसके अंदर में पानी डालते हैं, पानी अंदर अर्थ के एलिमेंट में जाता है। वेरी सिंपल डे टू डे एक्सपीरियंस। द फायर एलिमेंट विच इज एनर्जी, एनर्जी नॉट फायर एज इन फायर, एनर्जी is there in the water element also. It permeates into the water element. The air element sustains the fire energy. It is part of the fire. It goes into the fire. Space encompasses all the four. तो जितना जैसे जैसे सूक्ष्म होते जाता है, द मोर इट बिकम्स सटल एंड सटल, इट बिकम्स मोर एंड मोर परवेजिव, इट बिकम्स मोर एंड मोर परवेजिव. So what is more subtle than space? Now if you remember Brahma Sutra, he had drawn a comparison to explain space and the Chidakasha, normal Akasha and Chidakasha. तो चिदाकाश के अंदर में, आकाश के अंदर में बादल, और बादल के ऊपर में तो हम बोलते हैं आकाश में बादल है। आकाश में कुछ नहीं है, बादल तो इधर उधर घूम रहे हैं, वायुमंडल में घूम रहे हैं। बट व्हाट इज द चाइल्ड से? एंड ही यूज्ड एग्जैक्टली दैट ना, दैट इज द वर्ड्स ही यूज्ड. तो ही सेड द चाइल्ड फील्स आकाश ब्लू है, आकाश में बादल है, आकाश अभी मैला दिख रहा है. नन ऑफ दिस इज ट्रू. These are all impressions of what is layered on the Akash. Now, similarly, by being Sukshma, and in the Upanishad as well as in chapter 8, he uses the words Anor Aniyanam. Anor Aniyanam. छोटे से सबसे छोटा अणु is the atom. Smaller than the atom. Anor Aniyanam. Now, because it pervades into everything, it is the Jnata. It knows everything. It knows everything. But just exactly जैसे ओशन के अंदर में जब वेव्स आते हैं, तो ओशन is only having some surface undulation. It is witnessing. It is not doing. Has the ocean got displaced? No. Has the ocean doing any work? No. The wave is appearing to do a lot of work. So he is the Sakshi. The wave can come and the wave disappears, but the ocean lasts continuously, and therefore Sada Avyayaha. So here he gives us the descriptive of what Brahman is. अहम एकोऽपि सूक्ष्मश्च ज्ञाता साक्षी सदव्ययः तदहम नात्र संदेहो विचारसोऽयमीदृशः। इस चीज का विचार करो. Think of this. Do vichara of this. So he is continuously telling us what we have to think about. What is the vichara that we need to do? We move from there to verse number 17. I am now in a state of drinking kadha. So in 17 he says, आत्मा विनिष्कलो एको देहो बहुभिरावृतः तयोरेक्य प्रपश्यन्ति किमज्ञानमतः परम्. तो हमारे शरीर में आत्मा विनिष्कलो, उसमें कोई कला नहीं है, ये पार्ट्स नहीं है. राइट. कलाओं कितने बोले जाते हैं? 16 कला, 16 कला. चंद्रमा के 16 कला, 16 पार्ट. कला हियर वर्ड मींस पार्ट्स. आत्मा विनिष्कलो, विदाउट एनी कला. तो विशेषेण निष्कलः. आत्मा विनिष्कल, एक. देहो बहुभिरावृतः. ये पूरा होल थिंग इज कॉल्ड देह, बट द देह हैज मेनी पार्ट्स. राइट. जस्ट नाउ यू यूज द एग्जांपल, हमारा अंश. तो but my hand is not me. It is a standard meditation that we have practiced earlier. My finger is not me. My hand is not me. The body that I am holding my hand is not me. Right? So on and so forth. So therefore he says, now another very simple example. When your toe up, when you are walking in your house and your toe hits some part of the furniture. हुआ है कभी आपको? पैर किसी फर्नीचर के पार्ट के साथ अथड़ा गया, भिड़ गया. राइट. सबके साथ हुआ होगा. Immediately there is pain. Can you identify the point of pain? Yes. But where is the pain located in your body? Throughout, no? Why? Because the same consciousness that is there in my top of my head is the same consciousness that is there at the extent of my toe. I am one. Even in my body, I am one. Similarly, those who identify and say that this body has multiple parts, so there are many bodies. Similarly, that is therefore it is says, this is the greatest ignorance. This is the greatest ignorance. Yesterday we were looking at Bhavani Ashtakam, we saw Pramada, the greatest lunacy of identifying with the body, the mind, intellect is the greatest lunacy. Here Acharya himself is saying it. Kim ajnana matah param. So here he is very clearly telling us, तुमने विचार कर लिया. Now let me get rid of the ignorance in you. And he repeats this line, Tayoreikya prapashyanti kimajnanam matah param. He will keep repeating this. Now he says, Atma niyamakashchan Atma niyamakashchantar deho niyamya vahyakaha. Atman. Where is the Atman? The Atman is an internal part of what you are. The external part is the body. Just exactly as water permeates the wave. Water is nothing but a part of the wave. Right? Any wave you take, it has water in it. In the ocean, any wave you take, it has water in it. Similarly, here he says that the external form of the wave is not what you really are. And he says it is the controller. Atma is the niyamak. It is the controller. Whereas the body is the niyamya. It is the controlled. Now, always I have used this example number of times. The moment consciousness leaves the body that is called Samir, you will call it the body. You will not anymore refer to it as a person, right? Immediately, instinctively, we therefore, because in our culture, now this is not true of the Western culture. In the Western culture, they use the words rest in peace. Who is to rest in peace? किसको rest in peace करना है? Right? May his soul rest in peace. May his soul means he is not the soul. Just exactly, if I say this is my hand, then I am not the hand. So if you say, may his soul rest in peace, the whole idea is, therefore, soul is separate from him. In Sanatana Dharma, we say, may he attain Sadgati. You say, Om Shanti. You say something, but you cannot say, may he rest in peace. He cannot rest in peace. If he has vasanas, he is going to come back. And if he has no vasanas, he has merged. There is no more coming back. So there is no more he. So neither can he rest, can he come back, or neither he will not come back. Peace, rest in peace is not going to happen. So Atma is the controller and Deha is the controlled. Even, see, if in the normal order of things, what is the sequence? The sequence is that Indriyas make the body move, Manas controls the Indriyas, Buddhi controls the Manas, Atman controls the Buddhi. In chapter 12, in Bhakti Yoga, he says very clearly, first step he says, devote your intellect to me. Then he says, okay, if you can't do that, devote your emotions to me. Then he says, okay, you can't even do that, then devote all your work to me. You can't do that also? Okay, just give up your attachment to the fruits of the work. Now he's just reversed it. Right? Hamara journey kaisa hai? Pehle we give up the fruits of the work, then we work for him, then we control our emotions, and then finally our intellect awakens and we are ready to take the jump. But Sri Krishna understands this. So similarly here, Acharya is telling us very clearly that the body is controlled. Controlled by what? Ultimately controlled by the Atman. Body is controlled by the Atman. That controller is internal. You can't see it. You can only experience it. See, when you look at chapter 11, and I know we have not gone there, but it's okay. When you look at chapter 11, what is the difference between chapter 11 and chapter 10? Chapter 10 says, whatever I see, chapter 10, verse 41, he ends it so beautifully. He says, wherever and whatever you see in glory, whatever you see which is great, wherever you see some bit of greatness, it is because of me. And therefore your mind moves there. Right? In chapter 11, he flips it. Very important. He says, now in everything that you are seeing, all of that is in me. All of that is in me. Only after that comes Bhakti Yoga. And in Bhakti Yoga, in chapter 11 itself, Arjuna is now scared. And he says, I can't tolerate this form. Now he is not seeing a form. You have to understand, right? Oh, the painting hai na, popular painting of Vishwarupa of multiple heads and Arjuna standing beneath in a small minuscule. That is not. That is only an artist's representation of the Vishwarupa. The Vishwarupa, a vision of the entire cosmos. After his perception changes. Now you cannot remain in that state if you are not prepared for that state. Hence, he says, no, this is too much for me. Please come down and give me your four-handed form. Give me your four-handed form. Why four-handed? Oh, that is the way he used to see Ishvara. Whatever form he thought of, that was the four-handed form. He talked about the four-handed form. Difference is with Prahlad. Prahlad was already prepared. So he sees everything inside Vishnu. So Prahlad is in a continuous state of Vishwarupa Darshan. And he tolerates that because of that preparation that he has gone through. Arjuna has not been prepared, right? Arjuna at the end of possibly around 400, 500 shlokas, suddenly is jumped into a vision which is all-encompassing. That all-encompassing vision is not what we are ready for absorbing. To do that absorption, this vichara is necessary, that this body, this manas, this buddhi is not controlling what I am. The controller is the Atman. In the next stanza, again he says, Atma jnanamaya punyo deho mamsamayo sutihe. Next line is a constant refrain. Tayorekya prapashyanti kimajnanamata param. So now he says, Atma jnanamaya. The nature of Atman. In in the Upanishad, what does it say? Satyam jnanam anantam brahma. Satyam, it exists. Jnanam, it is knowledge. Anantam, it is endless. This Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, that is, it is Atma, is Jnanamaya. In Advaita, the body is treated as Jada. It is treated as unconscious. And therefore, the true Advaiti, purest Advaiti, will not give any attention to the body. We are, however, following Gurudev's path, where he says that we may say that it is easy to say that the body is Jada, but you have not removed your identification with the body. So let's start working with the body. Let's start training the body also. Sit for 45 minutes. Sit in one place. Learn to keep your spine erect. Because all of that is training for chapter 6. All of that is training for being sitting on the seat of meditation. What is the Deha? Deha is nothing but Mamsa Mayo. Mamsa Maya, and it is impure. Why is it impure? Because it decays. Anything that decays will ultimately become impure. Right? For the so we have all eaten dosa, na? Anybody who has not eaten dosa? Dosa or idli? सबने खाया है ना? Right? Raghuji's smile tells me that he eats it every day. So now,
not every day.
So
Great sadness.
So one of my when we were studying this, one of my friends who is a pakka North Indian, he is Punjabi. So he says, see, बोला हुआ है, देह में impure चीज मत घुसाओ. And what do you mean by impure? देखो, अच्छा चावल लिया, अच्छा दाल लिया, उसको पीस के उसको फर्मेंट करके खराब कर दिया. So Mamsamaya Ashuti. Ashuchi, whatever decays is impure. You have heard the story of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, where his view of what the body looked like, we have seen. So that understanding, he takes us to in verse number 19. So the nature of ignorance tells us that it is telling us that this Deha is me. However, Acharya is reversing that and saying, remember that the Deha is impure. Verse number 20. Again, he does a comparison. He says, Tayorekya prapashyanti kimajnanamata param. What do we have to say? He says, Atma prakashaka svatso dehastam uchyate. Prakashakaha. We have seen in Brahma Sutra, the nature of Brahman. Over there, the Prakashaka was another term that was used over there. Yesterday, when we were talking of the Bhagavad Gita, where he talks about the Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat, right? Effulgent like the sun. Tamasa Parastat, remover of ignorance. Where is the ignorance? The ignorance is in the body where we are saying, I am identifying. It is in the ego. When here the Acharya is using the word deha, he is using a composite of what we think we are. So, therefore, the body is jada, it is ignorant. It is also tamasic in nature in the meaning of inertia. Right? I am regular in my workout and so on and so forth. I hope to, I maintain that I am quite disciplined, but every day is a struggle with the bed. Every day you have to say, आज थोड़ा ज़्यादा rest कर लेते हैं. आज थोड़ा, for that matter, I don't know if you have ever gone and got a massage done. If you have got somebody to come and press your legs and press your back and press your head and do massage for you, and after an hour, he will say, okay, sir, ho gaya? Now you are forced to say okay, because 1 hour has is over. But your body doesn't say okay. Your body says, chalne do, pair dabane do. Because of the nature of inertia, you want it to be comfortable, you want it to be pain-free, etc., etc. देह तामस उच्यते. देह को तामस उसका एसेंशियल पार्ट है. देह के अंदर में तमस कूट कूट के भरा हुआ है. तो जैसे आप मीना जी, आप लोग लाल मिर्ची का अचार बनाते हैं ना, इसमें पहले तो मसाला भी कूटते हैं और फिर वो मसाला को कूट कूट के उस मिर्ची के अंदर में भी कूट कूट के भरते हैं. राजस्थानी बनाते हैं ना, राजस्थानी लाल मिर्ची का अचार. और वैसे ही हमारे अंदर में भी वो तामस को कूट कूट के बस अचार के जैसे भर के रख दिया है. We have to understand that we have been pickled with our ignorance. That ignorance has to go. He continues in verse 21. Atma nityo hi sadrupo deho nitya yasanmayaha. So, Atma nitya, deha anitya. Again, very common truth. Very common truth. That the deha is anitya. I don't know if the Atma is nitya. Right? I have not seen it. I have not experienced it. I don't know whether it will come back. I don't know if what Bhagavad Gita is saying, Vasamsi Jirnani and so on and so forth, it will take another body. I have no experience of it. Right? I am a Charvaki. But at least the truth of the fact that this Deha is anitya and therefore cannot create everlasting happiness has to be understood by us. So even if you are a Charvaki, you cannot invest in your body. In terms of identifying with it. So, this Deha Anitya. Now, we have changed so much, but yet we continue to identify with ourselves. Yes, Raghuji.
I can see my friends saying, अरे 100 साल के बाद मरने में दुख होगा, लेकिन आज के लिए हम सुख रहेंगे ना.
See, that is the point. Absolutely true. But आज के लिए जो अभी तुमको सुख लग रहा है is because you have been blessed at this point of time with a reasonably good health, maybe with reasonable fitness, maybe with reasonable amount of monetary wealth, and so on and so forth, and mental sanity, and so on and so forth. And what you are thinking is, therefore, that is happiness. Tomorrow, just tomorrow, you get up in the morning and you get a twisted back. And then you ask that person, where is your sukha? The whole essential nature of sukha itself is that it is temporary. So, you are right, people, and as we have already seen, 99% of the world will remain as Charvakis and they have to be remaining there. Bhagavad Gita tells us, don't try and go and convince people who do not deserve or does not want to be convinced. There is no need for us to do that. It is our individual journey that we have to be interested in. So, here now he moves from here into verse 22. Verse 22, he now moves into the nature of Atman. Atmanastat prakashatvam yat padartha bhasanam Nagnayadiptivadip Nagnayadiptivadiptir Bhavatyandhyayato nishi. That word was bad. Nagnayadiptivadiptir Bhavatyandhyayato nishi. So here he says, Atman tat prakashatvam na, it is na agni, na agnya, na agnyadi, na agni adi, deepti, deepti means to shine, vaddeeptir, vaddeeptir means in spite of the light, bhavatyandhya yato nishihi. Bhavatyandhya, bhava means to exist. So in spite of Agni, darkness can exist. In spite of Surya, night can exist. In Chandrama also there is change and Amavasya exists. But what is the nature of Atman? The Atman is saying it is Prakashatvam. Where Atman is, there is no darkness. Bhasamanam. Bhasanam means to shine. So it shines. Shines with what? Shines with knowledge. Because it shines with knowledge. Now, what is this knowledge and how is it different from the knowledge of the scripture? Any thoughts?
See, when you take the light of a fire or a flame or a deep, you can block that light, and behind the blockage there is darkness. The difference with the self-illumination is that what are you illuminating? This illumination itself, the word illumination itself is only a metaphor.
Excellent.
So when you when the self-illumination is present, ignorance is banished, knowledge is there, you're able to, literally you are aware, completely aware of everything. There is no such concept of darkness anymore, because that's the way I see it.
Very beautiful, very correctly explained. So essentially, when you look at the nature of Brahman, and it is very beautifully in Bhakti Yoga chapter, he gives a very beautiful description over there, right? For that matter, in Nirvana Shatakam, also the last stanza, he gives a beautiful description of what it is. Even when he's talking of what it is, he's using negatives. Aham nirvikaro nirakara rupa, right? Na nirakara, that which does not have a shape, that which does not have a, and so on and so forth. So all of these that he is talking about, by negating na iti, not this, not this. It's a beautiful story in Shvetashvatara Upanishad, where the student, he is wanting to find out what is Brahman, and in that he keeps on doing this, and he keeps on getting inputs which keep telling him not this, na iti, neti. By continuously that dissection of the Atma Vichara. So converting your buddhi into an asina. We have seen that word in Bhagavad Gita also. Asina means sword. Converting your buddhi into a sword by dissecting this material world with ruthlessness, without any attachment. When we keep doing that, we arrive at this particular point. So, while we understand that, or at least, I mean, I may be very, very oversimplifying here, but Aparokshanubhuti is not a very difficult text from a textual point of view. I mean, it is not like Brahma Sutra, it is not like uh, Bhagavad Gita, or it is not like any of the Upanishads. It's a fairly simple text. But when you do that manan, you have to understand that he's actually giving you practices. He's telling you how to get to that. It's actually a yoga shastra, because he's telling you what is it that needs to be done on vichara. He's telling you exactly what is it that has been deluding you by giving you the definition of your illness and the definition of your and the prescription for getting out of the illness. He is making sure that you and I get out of it. So this is a book for vichara. This is a book for manan and vichara. So for the next session, we will do some vichara manan on verses number 23, 24, 25, and we will start from there. You will have to come back. We will have a discussion on 23, 24, 25, and then we will proceed if we have the time. So let us end for today. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.